Okay, just like that famous Henry person who sits around a pond and writes about what he sees, I'm gonna sit around my dragon fruit patch and tell you what I see. And I'm just gonna focus on the fruits today. This is my Cosmic Charlie. As you can tell, it is starting to ripen. You see the red is kind of burning through the green. See, this is the green right here, and this transition area is kind of yellow. I love looking at it like this because this stage of its life, of a fruit's life, before it gets to red like that, see, from green to red like that, right? You see this is a kind of two colors, but there's this phase where it kind of transitions over, and I love looking at it because this stage only takes about a week and it goes away. Whereas the red stays there for a while, the green kind of stays for a while. This doesn't. See, it's kind of like the fruit is having a serious heartburn, and it's like burning right through, right, to the green. It's like this, internal conflict that it has. The red is trying to overthrow the green, right? Ultimately, it's all gonna be red. They're gonna win. But look how pretty it is. I'm gonna get super close to it. You can only see tiny little spots on here at this age. At this stage, because once it's all red, you don't see it as much. Unless you squint and all that stuff, right? You can squeeze out a little tiny little white dot, but you can see it right here when it's transitioning colors, right? This peach green is so beautiful, and that's what I enjoy looking at it, and I want to share this moment with you. Okay, here's another fruit. This is my American Beauty. Here's one that's almost fully ripe, and here's one that's just transitioning into ripeness. So it's kind of you see the green right here, and then it's kind of orangey, and then yellowish coming through, right? Remember, this is just a 1 week's process, and then this will go away. So you can only enjoy it like this. Just like the dragon fruit flower, it only opens for a day. Once you miss it, that's it. There's nothing else to look at anymore. But this is so pretty. I love this transition of color like this because it's more complicated. It's kind of like the taste of a dragon fruit. It's like sweet or sour, right? Kind of like, oh yeah, sweet, and then when it's all green, it's all sour and stuff. But there's a complex mixture of colors here. This, I think, is their most beautiful moment, and don't miss it. See, that's why I'm spending so much time videotaping this for you, just so that you can admire this transition period. Now here is the two extremes when the transition's over. This is my robeless red. It's so interesting that you have one green and one red. One's fully ripe, or almost there, and then one that's not yet. And having these two back to back like that is so cool to look at too. There's no transition to admire, but just looking at how different they are, right? It's almost yin and yang here, right? It's so cool to look at. Okay, one more example before I go back to the 49er Patriot game. Right now it's halftime. This is another American Beauty. Look at this transition color. This is the perfect example of the transition. The greens are still here. The heartburn is coming through, and it's so beautiful. This is a beautiful. See, you see all this green right here. It looks so nice. And same with his little brother down there. Also like that. That one's more in, kind of in the more shadow, so I go for this one. It's not that I like this one more or anything. I want to make sure they don't get angry at me, right? Yeah, this is the reason I'm showing you this one. It's just the colors. I'm just looking at it carefully. You can see all the little individual white dots on here. See? You have to squint to see it if it's on a red fruit, but on here you can see it more. You can see the white contrasting with the red in the back. You see it burning through. It's just so interesting to see how it burns through. The shape of it, where is it coming out like? See, you see this long red here? So it's following some sort of pattern. Like, close to the petal here. It's following on the petal, see? Maybe that's the thinner part of the skin, and that's why it's burning through. You know, it's the I don't think it's the flesh. It's not the flesh that's red. It's actually the skin that's turning color. See, once you cut this open, it's the skin that is becoming red. So it's not the fruit that's making, it's not translucency that's making it red. It's the skin itself that's turning red. And this transition is so pretty. So you only get to see this for a little bit at a time in its life before it turns all red. See, during the transition period for fruits, this is my Spinas. It's more pearl looking. It's kind of this this color, this transitioning color, as opposed to the fully ripened color. It's more red. It loses that pearl look. It's still pretty. This is very iconic looking with the for a dragon fruit with the green petals and the red body like that. But during this transition period, it's not fully red, so it's kind of pearl. See, when the color changes. So this is something that you don't see often. If you don't grow dragon fruits, you don't get to see this. That dragon fruit kind of look pearl like when it transitions into the ripe look. Well, since it's still halftime, I'm just gonna harvest one of these Halley's Comet right now. While I was looking at the color transitions of fruits, I noticed this one is pretty ripe. So I'm just gonna harvest it. I'm gonna just cut it from here because it's at the end anyways. Yeah, so that I can take this back and trim it nicely. And then I'll show you how I track it. Okay, I just trimmed the Halley's Comet. Before I put it in the refrigerator, I just want to track it. And I want to show you my new tracking system. Now, in the past, I don't track my dragon fruit progress like this. But now I'm going to track it. So this is my 2024 fruit harvest log. So this log tells you, or tells me, how many fruits I've harvested. And when. So you can see in August 10th, that's when I first harvested any dragon fruit this year. So on that one day I have harvested 5. So every time I harvest one or harvest a few, I write in the date that I harvest it. So you don't see that there's no 11 to 12. The next time I harvest the fruit was the 19th and August 22nd, 29, and then go into September. And today is September 29th. So this is how I do it. And then on this particular pot is pot number 4, and it's a Halley's Comet. I harvested 1. So instead of 0 down here, it would be a 1. Now I print out this copy just to talk about this. Normally I don't print it out. I just make a note and then go to my computer and update it. So before today, I already harvested 25, and that's 25 for this entire year. So I still have a lot more to come. So by adding this one, it will be 26. I'm going to go back to my computer and add that. The reason why I'm tracking it this way now, as opposed to how many buds or how many flowers or when all that kind of stuff, I am getting more fruits this year, or more production. I'm expecting over 100 fruits. To track it my old way, like how many buds I received this year, and then how many fruits at a time, and how many flowers and all that, I don't think that's as accurate, because I remove a lot of buds, or some of them don't come through. For whatever reason they don't develop into fruits. So it's not a very accurate way of measuring. So this is how I'm going to do it now. So how many fruits I'm going to harvest? I'm going to create one. So next year I'm going to create one. How many flowers I actually pollinate. So I'm going to have a pollination log, and it will show me the days when I pollinate, how many flowers I pollinate that day. That will tell me if all the flowers come through or not. If I, let's say, pollinate 10 flowers and only 9 fruits are harvested, that means my success rate is only like 90%, right? So that's what I'm going to do. And this is how I'm going to start recording going forward.